He thought they were his friends. When he opened the door that night, he didn't see killers. He saw familiar faces, 2 boys from town and a man he had once healed as a child. He invited them in. What he didn't know was they had brought in rope, kerosene, and the belief that he was a witch that needed to die. In the end, it wasn't money, it wasn't jealousy, it wasn't even hate. It was fear. Raw, suspicious fear that turned 3 ordinary men into executioners. And what they did to Nelson Rehmeyer in the woods of York County, Pennsylvania, would stain the hollow with blood and folklore for nearly a century.
Welcome, stranger.
Secret society.
Strangers. Society.
Welcome to the secret society.
Strangers?
Welcome to the Secret Society of Strangers. I'm Lee, joined by Jen and Josh.
What it do?
What's poppin', strangers?
I love that you've like stuck with the flap.
Pick it.
I
Yeah.
like it. That was
Yeah.
one of my favorite moments. I liked it.
Flapjacking.
When in doubt, flap it out.
All right. So tonight we're taking you deep into the woods of Pennsylvania into a story about faith, fear, and folklore turned fatal. You guys ready?
Always.
yeah.
All right. So to intro this, we're going to start as most things do in the shadowy woods. In York, Pennsylvania, there was a lonely farmhouse nestled deep in the woods. It was folded into the land so thick that people couldn't see it as they walked past, and locals wouldn't talk about it after dark. It was called Rehmeyer's Hollow, though most around here know it better as Hex Hollow, a place where powwow doctors once healed and prayers and charms were whispered curses, and whispered curses were passed down like family recipes.
So have you ever heard about this place before doing this research?
I
Since you're from Pennsylvania?
know where the town is, and I know there's a lot of stuff like in York and around York, but this particular thing, no, it popped up very randomly just a couple weeks ago, and I fell in
Ran
love
with it. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pretty
boy.
cool. It's a pretty crazy because this is all a true story. So this is not like one of our super duper,
Ooh.
I like
cryptid.
that.
We don't know if it's real kind of things.
Yeah.
So this is a story of folk belief gone rotten, where healing turned to hexes and faith bled into fear. A story of men so convinced that they were cursed that they resorted to bloodshed in the name of salvation. And at the center, a quiet, reclusive powwow doctor named Nelson Rehmeyer, a man they believed was a witch.
Okay. Yeah.
Do
Men can be
tell.
witches too.
That's true. We don't discriminate.
Nah.
All right. This is the story of the murder of Hex Hollow. Now, before we start, normal SSOS disclaimer:
Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo.
murder, death,
Mayhem.
bad things happen. But more importantly, on this episode, I want to clarify something before we get too into the weeds. I am going to be saying powwow a lot. And this episode does not refer to the Native American powwow. This refers specifically to Pennsylvania Dutch folklore tradition. It's more of a mix of like Christianity and Christian prayer with medieval charms and Germanic mysticism.
Ooh.
Okay, so this practice is like what is the guiding force in this part of Pennsylvania at this time. So we're in the early 20s, and like these people that are powwow practitioners are more trusted than doctors, physicians, anybody else.
Why were they more trusted?
It's just because they were part of the community. So they're like where everyone would go to for. I'll get into like what these powwow doctors did, but like yeah, they're like everybody. They're your therapist, your dentist, your
Oh,
like healer, your preacher, your
Okay.
you know your child's hurt, your child's sick. You go to this guy or this woman. Yeah.
Okay.
So all right. We're, like I said, tucked away in the Pennsylvania backwoods. And this story starts with a book, a weathered little book, soft covered, worn from years and years of use. Its pages whisper a strange gospel, a blend of Christian prayer, old world spells, and rituals passed down through generations like recipes.
Okay. Okay. A little pinch of Eye of Newt, a
Mm-hmm.
dash of mugwort.
150%. So this thing would have blessings against burns, charms against bleeding, cures that were whispered to the bones of the sick.
Hey, stop being sick, bones.
yeah.
Wish that worked, man. My bones need that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Ugh,
It's because you don't
Yeah.
have the powwow book.
I know.
Is it all good stuff or does it have bad stuff too?
It has everything. So yes, it could be used for bad stuff. It could be used for good stuff. So take this little incantation or whatever you want to call it. Whoever this is for just general protection from injuries, like in your everyday life.
I need this.
Don't accidentally
You
hex
don't need
us.
this. Whoever carries the right eye of a wolf fastened to the inside of his right sleeve remains free from all injuries.
Oh fuck.
What
There
if
you
you
go. Yeah.
accidentally got the left eye?
Well, then I guess you're probably more prone to be injured.
What if it's like
That's
not
a
a full
bummer.
wolf?
Because
So it's a werewolf or a skinwalker.
It could be.
well, see, I could see somebody being like, "Is it the wolf's right or is it my right?" As I'm looking at it.
Oh, that's true.
So it says his right sleeve, so your right sleeve. They're pretty clear on most of this stuff when you read through. They even like
Okay.
reiterate you're supposed to say stuff over and over.
Okay.
But for believers, this wasn't just superstition, this was sacred. And they called this book The Long Lost Friend.
I feel like there's like a lot of blind wolves out there at this time. Then all these people are just
One-eyed
snagging
wolf.
wolf eyes.
Like, yeah, like Jeremy goes out, he's like, I can't find any wolves. They all got
Yeah.
one eye, and it's not the eye I need. Shit.
Guys, you got all the wolves? Really?
Yeah.
All
And then
right,
he's just the
so
most accident prone person in like the village.
yeah, every time he goes out, he's like getting stabbed with branches and shit. He comes back, he's got more wounds. All right, so this takes place in 1928 in rural Pennsylvania. So this is an area where like not much of the modern world has reached. So jazz is roaring through the cities right now. There's electricity, there's, trains are a big thing right now. There's gas lights, but like out here, like electricity, radios, not really a thing. Like they don't have.
Nothing.
Okay.
Just maybe some dueling banjos.
Yeah, more like superstition. It is very superstitious, very
True.
faith-based communities.
I bet you
So
there's a bunch of snake preachers.
you could almost some of these powwowers might have had some kind of like animal or familiar with them, I'm sure.
That would make sense.
So, like I said earlier, in places like York, Pennsylvania at this time, these doctors, these powwow doctors, were trusted more than physicians. In the hands of a good powwower, the long lost friend wasn't just a book, it was a weapon, it was protection, and it was power. And they say that Rehmeyer knew dozens of these by heart. His mind was a pharmacopoeia of medicine. So he knew like this whole book, like back and forth. People, he'd been coming to him for years. So at this time, he's in like his 60s. He's like 60 years old. And he's just been this kind of hermit recluse guy that like everyone in town knows who this is. And
He's the guy.
everyone has probably been with him for
He's the
one
guy.
reason or
He's
another.
the wizard.
Exactly.
He's the
The
whiz.
man.
I'm picturing a dude in like a burlap sack with like a bunch of teeth missing and like a jug with 3 X's on it.
I tried to find a picture of him. I really couldn't find a picture. I found a picture of one of our suspects from the evening, but I couldn't find any of him. He's probably too recluse.
Picture cameras couldn't find him out there in the
Nope.
Yeah.
ruralness.
It was also 1929, so like if you really weren't like in a place where they were taking pictures or getting paid to get your picture taken, you weren't getting your
And
picture taken.
yeah.
Can we talk about why nobody smiled in pictures back then? Like, why?
There are cultural reasons, depending on where you are and what time period. There are cultural reasons for
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah.
On the 20s, they would have been able to, but of course, it was a long exposure time
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
really early photography. But yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that also there were like superstitions about like you looking like you would every day, like not looking different. You don't want to be trapped differently in like your
Ah,
picture
Oh,
and shit.
yeah.
Like, yeah. That
And I feel like these guys would have a definite view about cameras and stealing your soul or something.
yeah.
Sure. I mean, we're talking like, so for context, I'm very familiar. Pennsylvania is a big, weird, mixed state. So you got places like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh that are just normal American cities. But then you got like Lancaster and some of these really, really rural places that are still in 2025 somewhat disconnected from like the bigger world because of the Mormons and not the Mormons, the Amish. And then that was big then in 1920. They're still here. On top of that, now you have like this almost like people probably know this from like Appalachia. There's like mountain families.
Oh yeah, like hill
There's like
families and shit like that.
yeah, there's like mountain families in Pennsylvania. So like these are like these little coves of people that like they're like self-sufficient. They're not interested in like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
They're old world.
Okay. Okay.
And so, for example, to just show you how widespread this magical book was, you can still get a copy of this, by the way, today if you want. Like it's still in reproduction.
Ooh.
The long
So,
lost friend.
yep,
Ooh.
you can look up. There's a PDF. I could put a link
Jin's gonna get this book.
somewhere.
I
Yeah,
am gonna have this work. Yeah.
yeah. So, like again, so I said examples of like how widespread this book was and the variety of things it would use for. So this incantation would be spoken over a snake bite 3 times. And it says, Jesus walked the earth and struck a poisonous snake and burst it. So may thy poison burst.
That's
Say that
very
3
Three
times.
times. Done.
Done.
Poison
straight to the
negated.
point. Very direct.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
What
how
was the
about this one
success rate?
yes.
for epilepsy? People kept going. How about this cure for epilepsy? Take a turtle dove, cut its throat,
Oh.
and let the person affected with epilepsy drink the blood.
Well,
What are you guys talking
see,
about? Why do
I'm
you sound worried? They're cured. We're
I'm
helping
gay.
people.
I'd
Yeah,
be like,
allegedly. I'd like to see the numbers.
yeah, I'd have to see like 100% before I'm harming any animal.
I so these are the interesting things because like especially when you talk about medicine like that was really not tested or like peer reviewed, how much of this stuff is like coincidence that people got better or just like placebo effect that they got better,
Well,
like like you know again, like
yeah.
someone's like sick all the time. All of a sudden, they're like, oh, they went through their grain, they emptied their grain storage, and now they got new grain. Now no one's sick anymore. Oh shit, maybe the end of that grain was like really rotten, and people are getting sick for months.
Yeah.
Like,
The ergot poisoning, hallucinating.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. So you never know, like how much
Yeah.
is.
I feel like you would know for sure with the snake bite one.
Yeah.
That would be
That
a
would be
quick
a
one.
good
Mhm.
indicator.
Yeah, that would be 1, 2, 3. Are you feeling better? Oh, he's dead.
Oh,
Yeah,
real
you've
dead.
been
yeah.
dead.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Should I
cool.
say it again?
One more time?
So I mentioned it earlier. These are sacred words. These are tools to these people. These are words that these people live by. Most of them. To others, this is just superstition and it's folklore wrapped in parchment and, you know, lollipoppy gaki gaki goo. That's a word. Look it up.
Okay. I'll take your words for
Okay.
it.
All right. So Nelson Rehmeyer was tall, broad-shouldered, quiet. He lived alone in this 2-story house deep in the woods. He kept to
God,
himself.
that's the life.
Yep.
No, so far, no problems here.
Yeah, I am here for this.
I mean, not the lad joke. Okay.
Yep. He practiced his powwow healing. He wore his hair long, which some people whispered that it was too long.
It's
Yeah.
too long. You should cut it.
Yeah.
His wife had left him,
Oh,
supposedly due to all the strange things he did.
but you aren't even
Although
aware.
I think it probably
Sorry.
became like too much.
Oh,
It's like probably after like the 15th like turtle dove, she's like, I can't.
that's
I can't
she's
take
like,
anymore.
"Straight, I
Keep
can't
doing
do
this.
No. Okay.
Even with all this, many people came to him for help. They came to him because he was a healer, and I'm assuming that means it worked sometimes. Other people thought he was a hexer, and whether that was gossip or not, it doesn't really matter because there are 3 men that believed it.
What's a hexer?
Like curses or like doing bad
Evil
spells and
spells.
incantations on other people. Like you put a hex on something, you could put a hex on objects or a house or
You're
land.
bad witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a good one.
Right. So now enter John Blymeer. This man was haunted by bad luck. He was born into York County, Pennsylvania, into a Dutch family, extremely into tradition of powwow. When he was younger, he was actually considered gifted, and he would stop people from bleeding with charms and heal warts with little prayers. By the time he was 30, that shit was done.
It's just
Okay.
tapped.
Yep.
Hmm.
He was chronically ill. He would repeatedly lose his jobs. He suffered immense personal tragedy, including the death of his children and the collapse of his marriage.
Damn.
Now,
Bad luck.
Bet
he
you he
tried,
wishes that he had the right eye of a wolf.
right?
Yeah.
He probably tried it because he tried everything he can think of from folklore remedies. He burned candles, he buried talisman, he whispered incantations by moonlight, he saved charms. Like he did everything he can think of, and nothing worked. Eventually, he started to just believe that he himself was hexed.
Well,
Because that's the only
Sure.
logical
I mean, it
explanation.
is. Yeah.
Well, when none of your stuff is working, and you're running out of utilities in your utility belt, got to be cursed.
Okay.
God damn it right.
All right. His descent into paranoia led him to seek multiple powwow practitioners, eventually landing upon the River Witch of Marietta County, a woman who called herself Nellie Knoll.
Oh.
Now, Nellie was born Emma Nope. She was a well-known practitioner of powwow in Marietta County, Pennsylvania. Her moniker, the River Witch, comes from her proximity to the Susquehanna River. Described by most contemporary accounts as an elderly woman with distinctive appearance, wrinkly, with a single sharp pointed tooth. So,
Yeah.
witch.
Yeah. Okay.
Witch.
Witch.
Color
with
her
the
green and that's
original
it.
Yeah.
Vibes there. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So
What
no
was her
pun-
what was her moniker again?
the River Witch of Marietta.
That
Marietta.
just sounds like a really dope bluegrass song.
Right? So she had like an apartment out back in like she didn't own a house, but she had an apartment out back. And I can imagine because even here on the Schuylkill, these houses were built like on the river. Like if you have an apartment on the back of your river and it's been there for a couple of years, it's probably hanging over the river somewhere
Yeah.
because the banks just keep getting eaten away. So she probably lived in this back apartment like right over the river, and they just were like, "River witch, look at her tooth, she's a witch."
You got that snaggle tooth. She's
Yeah.
a
So she was another sought after healer and another person who was known to relieve people from curses and illnesses. But while many powwowers would practice their craft for healing purposes and go no deeper, some people like Noel would go deeper into it and get into black magic and dark magic and curses and hexes.
Did
So
they hex
Twist
each other like
test.
little witch fights?
Haha, that'd be
Probably
funny.
they hexed whoever was being bad to them.
Oh man.
Nellie was the one who told John, the one who cursed you was Nelson Rehmeyer.
Oh,
And to prove it, Noel told him to take out a dollar bill and stare at George Washington. So he did. And while he was staring at George Washington's face, it dissolved into Rehmeyer's face, giving him the proof he needed to think that he was cursed by him.
okay. Think we got some psychosis going on from all the bad stuff in our life. That's okay. That's just
It could be.
I'm
Again,
forever gonna look at dollar bills now and see if it melts
melts into a
person's face.
wizard's face.
Oh man, that would be wild.
So to break the curse, she told John that she needed to steal Ramier's copy of the long lost friend, cut a lock of his hair, burn them, bury him, and that was the only way to destroy his power over him.
not asking
Seems
much. I
easy enough.
mean, that's
Right?
just
1, 2, 3,
just
done.
just a little lucky. Here,
Just a little bit.
just a
But
little.
he believed her, so he started thinking about it. He went to work. At work, he found someone else to believe this with him. He found a 14-year-old runaway named John Curry. So
Another
John
John.
Curry
Okay.
God
was
damn it.
abused by his stepfather. He was in a world that had like no protections for him. He's 14. He's working at a cigar factory. And like, of course, like, John comes up to him and is like, hey, you're
I'm
cursed.
cursed.
Yeah, you're cursed
Yeah.
too, right? You got bad luck. We're cursed.
What
This guy
hurts,
did
yeah.
it. So now, with the same guy in common that just happened to hex them both, they started to think of a plan to get rid of their hexes.
Yeah. There you go.
Were they hexed by the same person?
Yeah, they were.
I
So
think so.
yeah, so Blymier basically convinces Curry that if you're hexed, it's got to be this dude. Like if you're having bad luck in your family, like he's just hexing the whole town, he's hexing us. It's got to stop.
He's just out here hexing around.
Yeah. You get a hex. You get a hex.
All right. So, whoever carries this book with him is safe from all enemies, visible and invisible, and nothing can harm him. Now, that line appears in the very beginning of The Long Lost Friend. So, to Blymier, that meant one thing. As long as Rehmeyer had this book, he couldn't be killed.
Oh man, what if he got a wolf eye and then they just started fighting and then there's just immortal battle?
It's just like shield battle. Yeah, it's just OP battle.
Pretty much.
So he figured the book had to be taken first, right?
Yeah.
But how?
I feel
So
like the hair would be the easiest part.
Yeah, I feel like now you got two of you. One can just go in and hold him down, and somebody cuts the hair, gets the book, and out the door you go. Burn it, bury it, whatever all that else you were supposed to do.
I
Done.
think
Oh,
you're
cool.
pretty much right where they would. I think that's exactly what they were thinking.
I got a mastermind for crime. I know this.
On a storm slick night in 1928, with almost no plan,
Into
two
a
men
dark and stormy
crept through
night
the
in the
woods.
woods.
to the Hex Hollow. They knocked on Nelson's door. They told him they needed help. And to his credit, Nelson let them in. They sat, they made small talk, they talked about charms and healing. And Curry was super scared out of his mind. It's a little boy. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing here in this like wizard's house. And he's watching Blymier like eyes just dart all over this house,
Yeah.
hoping to just find the book.
Because
If
he thinks
not-
it would just be like on the coffee table as a conversational
Yeah.
piece.
Maybe it's just it leaves it in the bathroom for good reading,
That's where I get all my important hexing done.
right? It's how you commit it to memory.
On the house.
So if they can't find the book, maybe they just wait till he falls asleep and they cut a lock of his hair and then they start
Terrible
there.
plan. Okay.
Or maybe they just burn the whole house down, him, hair, book, and all, and
That's
just
not what they
That's
said.
be
not
done
what.
with it.
I hope people don't follow directions.
They chicken out. They don't do anything.
Oh, they didn't do nothing.
They go home. They leave, and Nelson goes to bed thinking that it was a normal visit from any other townsperson or people he knows in the town. But fear festers, and that night it grew teeth. So when they returned with a third man, and a plan, and everything they needed to kill the man they believe cursed them.
Yet again, that is not
Tell me
part of
about
the
his third
instruction.
Wilbur Hess. He was the third man. He was a local boy, by accounts, built like an ox. He was a farmer's son, and his family's crops were not doing well, and his family believed that they were cursed. So Hess's role in this whole thing was the muscle. Like, they
Okay.
brought him along literally just to, in case things got physical.
I feel like we needed somebody with the brains, but
They got muscle. They got muscle.
It's a plan, sure.
Yep. Because it did get physical. And what followed is pretty much pure chaos. So the second time they go into the woods, this time they have rope, a kerosene lamp, and matches. They knock on Nelson's door again. Of course, he opens it, looking at the faces of the men he just hosted last night, thinking like, oh great, they're here again. Blymeyer tackles him to the ground. Hess, Curry jump on him, try to hold him down. But Nelson, for a 60-year-old man, fights like an animal. He is kicking, he's screaming, he's biting these guys. Like, he's doing everything he can to not get taken down. Eventually, they manage to tie him up. Blymeyer ties rope around his neck and begins to choke him. And
So there's
Curry,
not a hex to untie rope.
I guess not. He doesn't have his
man.
book with him. It's not on him.
I thought he had it all
Maybe he has to
memorized.
look that one up. How many times have you been tied up?
Don't worry about my life.
Well,
True. I shouldn't be asking these questions. Sorry.
Don't ask questions you don't want real answers to.
exactly.
All right. I get it. So they started choking him. Now remember that one of these guys is a 14-year-old kid. And Curry takes wood from the fireplace and just starts beating on Nelson endlessly. When it's over, he's just laying there, bloodied and beaten. They really have no idea if this man's dead or alive, but it really doesn't matter because they need the book. So they waste absolutely no time. They start ransacking the house. They cannot find the book. So,
Does he even have one?
He has one. He definitely has one. Everyone's seen it. They know he has it. They decide it's got to be in here. Let's burn the whole place down. So they douse Rehmeyer with kerosene, and they throw matches on him. They watch the fire start to smolder. They turn tail. They start running through the woods, and they leave. Now that fire never took off. It smoldered, but it went out. And some people say that it's because the book was in the house and the book protected him and wouldn't let itself and the house burn. Others believe that he was just so powerful he himself couldn't burn.
Well,
That's up for anyone to decide, because 2 days
he's the
later,
whiz.
2 days later, he was found by his neighbors, burned, bludgeoned, dead in his home.
Oh, so he did die.
He did
Oh,
die.
yeah, that's right. He did die.
Yep. It didn't take very long because these were not super geniuses, so the police were kind of like A, B, C. Okay. The Hess family admitted openly that they let the boys borrow the car that night. And once the police started pressing the three men, they instantly turned over and were like, of course we're guilty.
Yeah.
They were arrested. When Blymeyer was arrested, he was said to be gaunt and wide-eyed, and he said, I quote, "Yes, I killed Rehmeyer. Not for money, not for revenge, to end the curse." Now, that shocked the entire nation. To hear in 1928 that a man was killed over witchcraft obviously sent like all the newspapers into like,
Frenzy.
high headlines: witch murder, modern America, cult kills local healer, powwow doctor slain for hexing. Like,
Cult kills.
yeah,
Yeah.
those were
It's just
headlines from
three
the time,
dudes.
man. Yeah, it's just like now. It's just like why fucking people get better clicks than us on YouTube, because they're like, this guy got decapitated, and it's like, no, that didn't happen in your video at all, but that's fucking clickbait. So yeah, so it felt like Salem.
I feel like clickbait has hurt you somehow.
Clickbait is frustrating, bro. Who's happy with clickbait?
Not me.
Not me. Don't heck me.
Especially in like some of like the like TV show or like comic book world or movie, like those things. People are putting together like 45-minute videos that say nothing, but they have like this giant title: Hugh Grant comes back for next X-Men movie. And
But he
like in
doesn't.
the end, they're like, maybe he said he liked doing it.
They said he really likes
really?
playing the role.
Yeah. So Blymeyer was sentenced to life in prison, paroled in the early 50s after over 2 decades. He's said to reportedly just live a quiet life and fade into obscurity. Curry was sentenced to life. Even though he was a minor, he was tried as an adult.
Damn.
He was eventually released a little over a decade, and he too faded into the public and no one really heard from him again. Hess got 20 years. He served roughly a decade of it. He was quietly released, and after his release, he reportedly stayed in the area and just maintained a low profile and lived his life.
Oh.
So 2 of these guys got life, but then they were released from prison.
Like now,
Oh, not
you get
life.
like something.
Yep. Especially then in these areas,
I'm actually surprised it wasn't more harsh then, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised that like they even put him in jail. But it's not. It feels like it's like the 1700s because we're talking about witchcraft.
Yeah.
But it is 1929. I think we are civilized.
Still, yeah.
Allegedly.
I don't think we're civilized.
We still have wizards and hollows.
Oh, this story didn't end in the courtroom, because people today still talk about the house on Hex Hollow. There's scorch marks that remain on the floor, and there's a lingering smell of smoke.
So the house is still standing?
The house is still standing.
Oh,
Visitors
shit.
speak of shadowy figures. They say they see a black dog with red eyes, or walk into cold spots and hear disembodied whispers. And after visiting the house, one woman had said that this is her quote, she stood in the doorway, long black hair, white dress, staring at me. I blinked and she was gone. And yes, the house stands right. We gotta find her. The house still stands, and it has been restored to its original 1928 condition by Rehmeyer's grandson.
Okay.
They've placed glass panels over the original scorched wood floor, and beneath it is the very spot that Rehmeyer died.
Oh,
Damn.
this guy's awesome.
We should go
Biggest
check this
rumor?
house out.
It's about an hour and a half away, I think. We could definitely do it when you guys come. The
Yeah.
biggest rumor is that Rehmeyer had never left the hollow, and he's still there to this day.
Damn.
But
Rehmeyer is the hollow.
So a little bit shorter than our normal episodes, but I just thought it was a really cool true crime history story, like almost a modern day witch slaying.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
As I did this research, I fell into the rabbit holes. One of the last things, and thank God this came up, one of the last things I found throws a whole nother twist at this entire case. Right? So 1927, the year before Rehmeyer was killed, the body of Gertrude Ruby was found dead with a close-range shotgun blast near the railroad tracks. Now,
Gertie.
she was reportedly pregnant at the time.
Can she have a dog with her too?
The rumors were that Blymeyer was the father.
Oh, and he shot her?
According to accounts, Blymer had a shotgun
Oh,
that mysteriously had disappeared
Mm.
shortly before Ruby's body was discovered.
Coincidence?
what?
Now, despite all these suspicions, Blymer was never formally charged or tied to this in any way. There's no connection to her death, and that case remains unsolved to this day.
Oh my gosh, I think he went nutso after he killed her and with like
Hmm.
psychosis, and then yep.
Well, it's very interesting that when you read accounts of this man, they say he was haunted by bad luck.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think he was haunted by Gertrude.
Yeah. Or
yeah.
the unborn baby.
That too.
Ooh, baby
Let's say,
ghost.
Conscious.
oh,
I
oh,
feel like that'd be
oh.
way more worse than like a regular like
Yeah, I
woman
feel
in
like it.
white.
Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
agree.
Oh, like
It'd be very
uh
confusing, very off-putting.
Yeah.
like the left bride, the dead bride, like on her wedding day is bad enough, but like the
Yeah.
expectant mother
Yeah.
is like, woo, that's even worse.
Oh,
Mm.
Yep. So
that is nuts.
sometimes it's not the
Got
unknown that haunts us. Sometimes
Oh,
it's actually what we believe.
so
Mhm.
are there still powwow practitioners today? I would imagine somewhere.
There are, but it's obviously not looked at with the same like reverence anymore. Like it's just like I would compare it to more to like how like Wicca is looked at.
Mm.
Like people, I'm sure there's people that follow it to the T, and that's their bread and butter, and that's all they know. But like to any person that lives in 2025, like if you have a toothache, are you gonna shun antibiotics?
No, I'm just gonna go get a turtle dove.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
Or
you
you could
do.
just get like the clover,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
But I mean, if you got
Orajel.
like
like a
home visit.
like an infection, like and you got like, you need like a root canal, I'm gonna take the antibiotics. I'm not gonna, they're there. I'm gonna take them.
Oh, but clover, instant pain relief, gone.
Mm.
Yeah, so you
You guys know
can
that, right?
I did
yeah.
not know that.
Yeah. I've done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've done.
Oh, it's the bomb.
Yeah,
Because you know
it
that
helps.
happens like on Friday night at like 2 a.m. or something. You
Yep.
can't. Yeah.
So I've been in the mirror with wrenches trying to pull my teeth out. My teeth used to be so bad. Like I'm missing this one now, but like the rest of them are all fixed compared to what they
Dude,
used to be.
that is nuts.
It was just in the mirror.
Oh yeah. Oh, you can ask my wife. Like it was so
No.
painful that like I didn't have insurance. I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do. It was like one of those days where like all the dentists are closed
Yes,
and
still
shit. And
no.
I was like, it's just gonna come out. I'm just gonna fucking rip it out. It cracked. It didn't rip out. So don't do that.
So
That's
don't do
not a good
that.
idea. It's
Yeah.
not tough. It's not
Disclaimer.
cool. It
The
fucking
worst
hurts.
thing I heard this whole episode.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's hey man,
Ow.
And just
that's
see
what
you in the
shit
mirror
with the
hyping
problem.
yourself up. You're like, yeah, you can do this.
Oh,
I got
Fired.
this.
Seriously, I
Fired.
couldn't look in the mirror. That'd be my first mistake. There'd be no way.
I
Somebody
still
tie a
feel it.
string to this door in my tooth.
Yeah.
Fucking Hemi, so pull his shit out of my
Gosh,
face.
because everybody else is
Then
just
your
like, I
jaw
can
comes
like
out with it.
feel it. I can just.
No,
Anyway, yeah, don't do that,
sometimes.
kids.
So that's the story of Hex Hollow. Like I said,
Question.
I got the PDF of the long lost friend. It is fascinating. Like the stuff that is in this thing is there are spells and incantations to like befriend dogs, to like
feel
get
like you
rid
can
of
just do that with a
colic.
treat.
Yeah, no, like it's like stand in different directions and shit, and like face it, or like one of them's like scrape the end of the table and then like feed that to your dog for like 4 days in a row, and it's mix it in with its food, and then like it'll follow you. Like it's or like put
Well,
your blood in its food, and then eat that, and it'll follow you. What else? There was a lot. Oh, colic. Did I say colic? There's like
Yep.
remedies for colic. There's remedies for like parasites, like worms in like horses and cows and people. And
Oh, I'm doing a worm
there's
cleanse right now. It's weird.
yeah, they are like
what?
this book has everything. Yeah, like protection for like firearms. There's like firearm like protections in there and shit.
What do you mean,
Yeah.
like
Like
to not
like
get
your arm's
shot
actually on
or?
fire
No,
or
like
like actual guns.
protect you from guns and to like bless your guns.
Oh, okay. So just the American way of
From
life.
I don't
doing what?
know. them guns would be jumping up, shooting people all the time. We
Bless these bullets
gotta keep them down somehow.
instead of bless this house.
I feel like we need to know the gun blessing since we should live in America.
Right? Oh, which one is this?
How do we make these bullets bounce off of us?
You got to have the left eye of the right eye of not a lion, a wolf, and put it in your right
Ah,
sleeve.
you're
And you'll
making
be
it even
invincible.
worse.
And bullets they'll bounce off you like Superman.
I don't know about that.
Allegedly. Don't do
Don't
it.
read
Don't
it
really try
wrong.
this.
Don't try
do
this at home.
Don't harm wolves.
I'm looking
Yeah.
for you. Yeah, that's what I care about. Not yourself. I don't care.
Don't harm the animals.
So did the one that said that he was hexing, if she was a powwow, so she had the book too, right?
So
Or
I
a
think she
book.
had the book. I think she had the book. She had some sort of knowledge. I mean, she had a lot of knowledge of power medicine, but I was going through this, was questioning, like, was she like basically enlisting them to steal the book for her? Like, was that
That's
her
what
end
I was-
goal?
That's
Like,
the
did she
vibe I was
want the
picking
book?
up. Yeah.
Yeah. And to think,
Okay.
1929, you're in this rural area, like getting another copy of a book wasn't easy. So
Yeah. What if she hexed them to get the book?
probably what you did.
Yep.
Sounds right.
See, little
hexing.
wizard secret battles.
Man. Well,
Oh well.
that's
I'm
it,
fine.
guys. That was the murder in Hex Hollow.
Damn.
So
It was a cat.
maybe when you guys come and get to go down there, we could do like a little
Game
podcast
show.
from there. It wasn't open when I looked. I looked at Atlas Obscura. Like the house is there. You can go check out the house, but like you couldn't go in at the time when I checked. So we'll see if it opens up.
Oh, cool.
There's a will, there's a way.
Right,
That's right. There's a
man. I
hex.
really-
Yeah, there's a hex for that. Instead of there's an app for that.
That's
it's
a good
hex.
slogan, man. There's a hex for that. That's a good
New
one.
merch coming.
We should
Yep.
keep that. A
Trademark.
lot of new stuff coming. Like not even joking. Like if you're listening to this and you've been waiting for like any kind of newness in this podcast, like it's all coming. We're working on logos. We're working on tightening up our format, episodes, topics, guests.
Well,
Yeah,
we
man.
listen to
I'm-
suggestions and we do them.
Yeah. Comment,
Yeah.
do all the things, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell.
Yeah.
Ding.
Yeah,
Or be
yeah.
hexed. Not just
Or
kidding. We're not
be
gonna hex
hexed.
anyone.
No, we're not gonna do that.
We're not tackling wolves and cutting turtle doves'
No,
throats, so you're not gonna
I'll
get
whisper,
hexed.
be
But
like, bones don't hurt anymore. See, there you
Mm.
go.
yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
hex.
That's a
See?
good hex.
We're here for you.
That's all we do.
Bones.
Here for you. You see, exactly.
And I just have new bones. Like, can you just whisper like new ones come in? Just they're like fresh young
20-year-old
ones.
foes.
I just had this picture of just like your old bones just getting sucked out of your body, and then new ones just smacking.
Yeah.
Like an
that'd be
adamantium
great.
skeleton. Just-
Yeah, you're just like Jello for a second.
That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing.
It would suck if you had to get an MRI though.
Well, you couldn't. Like, you couldn't even be in the room. You just get whoop, sucked into the thing instantly.
Your bones just get ripped out of your body.
Should we take a poll? Should we take a poll? Well, I'll ask here and then I can post it on Instagram on what we should do next.
Yeah, let's take a poll.
Yeah.
Like, so let's pick a few things that like we know we're all interested. I'll name a few things and you guys tell us. Like, if you guys, Josh and Jen, tell me if like you want to keep it in our, because I'll file it down to like 3
Yeah.
to choose from.
Okay.
So do we want to do like ancient Egypt ley lines and like mega structures and stuff like that? Option. We can do like another story kind of like this. Like there's stuff like the Bell Witch. There's more like folklore type stuff. There was there's one I really want to do that is like a little bit of everything.
Is
like
it your Wizard of Something Mountain?
Modern folklore? No, I think I'm gonna have to do that on like a social media one because it's even shorter than this.
Oh, okay.
Anyone ever hear of Range 4 Harry?
Isn't that like the horse or something that appears out in the
Yeah.
desert somewhere?
Yeah.
What? No.
It's like a radiation horse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to do a little bit episode, but it's bigger because it goes into like alien lore and there's like tall
boy.
whites
Yeah,
on the
out
base
there.
and stuff.
Dude, the desert is weird.
desert is
I was
wild,
so
man.
scared when I lived out in the Mojave. It was so fucking weird.
Ooh, train crimes.
Yeah.
Like old railroad crimes.
Oh,
Like
like
I fell
railroad
into a
murder.
rat hole.
Get out.
Get out of that rat
Oh,
hole.
they eat me! I fell into a rat hole.
They will
Yeah,
eat you.
I fell into a rabbit hole. Like, yo, trains were crazy.
Yeah.
Like I knew, like
Just
obviously, like I knew obviously, like robberies happened, and like you can like but like the way these people like disappeared people and stuff,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I
yo,
vote for trains.
yeah, we could do a trains episode. Like it, yeah, because it's crazy. Like there's just like straight up like serial killers, and then there's just like husbands that just like said their wife got on a train and didn't end up at the
I
place they
don't
were supposed to
know.
end up.
Yeah.
Like,
Sounds like H.H. Holmes. Oh, they all
Yeah.
ended up in California.
mhm. I think that's when I found that. I think that's when I fell in that rabbit hole when we were doing H.H.
Probably.
Holmes.
Oh yeah, because he
So,
put a bunch of his ladies on a train,
all right,
allegedly.
On a train.
okay, so in trains, more specifically, I have down the Victorian railway murders, which is like
Okay.
there's a ton of them. So we could do that. Also, I really want to do ghost ships.
Oh well.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay,
good.
well,
All right, so I think we're gonna be like we're staying creepy, true crime, paranormally, because I feel like that's the vibe everybody wants right now.
Victorian train murders.
Victorian train murder. All right, so we'll put a poll up. Victorian train murders, and what else did I say? Oh, ghost
Yeah.
ships. And just for a wild card, for anyone who doesn't feel like that resonates with them, I'll throw in CERN, the
Oh
Large
yeah,
Hadron Collider.
you what?
yeah, because
Fair?
they're
Fair?
CERN, the
CERN,
big particle collider thing in Sweden or
Sweden.
Switzerland or whatever.
Goes through a few countries actually, but
Yeah, it's like a big particle accelerator, and that's where they found like new elements and particles of
the Higgs boson.
the God particle essentially.
Yep.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
But then
with
there's like
that,
super like conspiracy theories of like they're opening interdimensional portals and like Stranger Things essentially.
Anyway,
That show.
okay.
so that I think CERN would be a good jumping off point for people to like get into that world for like a series we'll end up doing on like Camp David and Montauk Project, and
Mhm.
probably throw in like the Philadelphia experiment and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But I think I'll just because I feel like it's not fair if no one likes Victorian times or whatever.
Who
Jen
are
seems
these
offended.
people? I
Oh,
am
'cause
horrified.
there is a potential chance that there are like people that were born after 2020,
Very
after
small.
2000,
These people.
listening to this. No, they'd still be
No.
like 25 years old. It's wild. It's wild to
God.
think that there's like
Anyway, it's fine.
I digress.
I don't want to
All right.
think about that now. Thanks.
All right.
We'll let the
So
poll do the talking.
Yeah.
look for it on Instagram if you're listening now. It'll be up for a long time because this episode's not coming out for a while. So it'll be there for a while. I'll keep it up. Other than that, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And make sure you have hit the subscribe button. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, comment, share, like it.
5 stars.
5-star review.
That was my laser guns. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just thought
Woo,
there was
pew,
no sound.
pew.
Pew 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 pew.
Oh, I had the silencers on. Sorry. Pew pew pew.
There we
Is that
go.
better?
Now I can hear your fucking laser beams.
Yeah.
I had my silenced
Wow.
laser beams on, guys. Come on.
This got nerdy.
Ah,
Okay.
all right, strangers. Thank you guys for listening. Bye.
Keep it
Bye.
strange.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to join us as a guest, suggest a topic, or have a story you want us to share, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at ssospodcast@gmail.com. For more behind-the-scenes updates and exclusive insights about SSOS, make sure to follow us on social media. And don't miss out on the fun. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, thank you for listening to the Secret Society of Strangers podcast. This show is an independent production, researched and crafted by our passionate team. But we couldn't do it without all of you. We truly appreciate your support. Embrace the unknown, for not all secrets are meant to be kept. Farewell, strangers.